Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video today because I haven't spoken out in, I don't know, like a week. So I decided to do it outside because it's really beautiful today. Um, and I realized something when I made the last video, and that is that most people in South Africa don't realize that some of the things that are going on there are being reported in the U.S. And I realized this in going over these couple of New York Times articles. I never thought that I would quote the liberal New York Times, but they have written 10 or more articles on the corruption in the ANC and on specifically David Mabuza, on Ramaphosa, on the whole of the political party. So for them to be sick and tired and fed up with the corruption of the ANC says a lot to me, because this is usually, I would never agree with anything they had to say. So I wanted to kind of go over another of their articles, just really quick. I'm not going to make it too daunting, but this was written on January 23rd, 2019, and it's South Africa leader wooing investors, pledges end to corruption. So the reason I wanted to go over this is because it speaks about David Mabuza, and I will tell you why that's important in a few minutes. So Ramaphosa said in London that his corruption-ridden party, the ANC, had lost its founding values and now faced a Damascus moment in trying to regain the people's confidence and support. Good luck. So people have lost confidence in us, said Ramaphosa, who will lead his party in national elections that will most likely be held in May. Repeating the message he was pushing at the forum, Mr. Ramaphosa said efforts to clean up the ANC are already underway, and he pledged to return the party of Nelson Mandela to its past glory. Well, it's already April, and we've seen nothing but things escalate to almost a breaking point in South Africa. Revelations from a continuing high-level inquiry into corruption during the tenure of Ramaphosa's predecessor, the scandal-tainted Jacob Zuma, have led his country to a cathartic moment, the South African leader said. That sort of moment for us has actually enabled us to grip with what needs to be done. He added, we will be able to turn a new chapter on the life of our country and rid it of corruption. So, seeking investments to give a jolt to South Africa's sluggish economy, and it's sluggish because countries can't open businesses and choose their own employees. They have to deal with affirmative action and the Broad-Based Black Economic Empowerment Act, which only allows for a 7% white workforce. This is ridiculous. And if I were a business owner investing in South Africa, I would want to hire my own employees based on qualifications, not race. So, since becoming president last February, Ramaphosa has been unable to fulfill his promises to deliver growth and more jobs. With his country's economy hobbled by endemic corruption in the government and state-owned enterprises. In Davos on Wednesday, Mr. Ramaphosa repeated some of the same messages he's been delivering at home in the past year. But the issue is still whether he can deliver on his promises. No, he cannot deliver on his promises. So Mr. Ramaphosa's support inside the ANC remains uncertain, and with just months left before the elections, he struggled to unite the party behind him. Though the ANC is expected to win the most votes, it's far from clear whether Ramaphosa will get big enough victory to claim a mandate and aggressively root out corruption, as his allies say he wants to. No, he doesn't. That's a lie. For now, several political allies of Jacob Zuma, who have long been accused of corruption, serve in his cabinet or at the highest levels of the party, and Ramaphosa's own government has been tainted by allegations of the same sort of self-dealing that led to the oust of Jacob Zuma. Most prominently, his deputy president, David Mabuza, was a longtime leader of a small province where corruption was endemic. Mr. Mabuza has been accused of siphoning money meant for education and other services to finance his meteoric rise in national politics and deliver the votes that gave Ramaphosa a slim victory in party elections in December. When an article detailing Mr. Mabuza's rise, which I went over this article when I revealed the document that I have on David Mabuza, was published in the New York Times last August, the deputy president was questioned in Parliament by opposition lawmakers and even criticized by members of his own party in the news media. Mr. Ramaphosa did not comment on Mr. Mabuza then. Asked about his deputy in the interview Wednesday, Mr. Ramaphosa defended him, though not forcefully. None of these issues that have been alleged against him has, as far as I know, been brought to either the police or the criminal justice system. Mr. Ramaphosa said the country's prosecutors, he said, would act without fear, prejudice, or favor should such evidence emerge. As a leader, if allegations like that are made against you, you want them to be proven, Mr. Ramaphosa says. So, Cyril Ramaphosa, I have a question for you, and I'm going to post the proof at the end of this video. We have filed a complaint with you, yourself, with the deputy, or with the chief ANC whip, and with the Zondo Commission, alleging state capture, and we provided evidence in the form of a court document from 2010 on Deputy President David Mabuza and his hired hitmen. This document is the statement of a former hitman that alleges he worked for David Mabuza and Mr. Mabona, the Minister of Police in the same province. This document is so detailed that it can be corroborated. It gives names of people that they were ordered to murder. It gives places, it gives specific details of the murders that only someone who committed the murders would know. It gives specific details of Mr. Mabuza's home and other things. The other two hitmen that this man worked with are dead, he says, buried on David Mabuza's farm. There are survivors of these attempted assassinations who can speak and give evidence, yet they do not. Why is that? It's because they'll be killed. That's why. So, at the end of this document, this video, I will provide the email and the response from the ANC, the Zondo Commission, and your office, proving that we filed this document with you. This is a court document stamped by the magistrate. It is a legitimate document, and it has been hidden for 8 years. No one has seen it. So, Mr. Ramaphosa, your promise that this would be investigated, why is it not being investigated fairly? This man is the deputy president of the country, yet evidence so damning is submitted to your government and you do nothing, you are a liar, Cyril Ramaphosa. So, it goes on to say, but the National Prosecuting Authority is one of the government institutions that were weakened during Zuma's presidency. Despite a series of scandals that have rocked the country, few have been held to account for large-scale corruption that has put South Africa's future in question. At a news conference in Davos, Ramaphosa said he had taken steps to strengthen the prosecuting authority. In recent years, the ANC, which once inspired people across Africa and the world, has come to symbolize deep-rooted corruption. Yeah, that's an understatement. In recent years, the ANC, which once... Oh, I said that. Party leaders have stolen tens of billions of dollars meant to lift up poor black South Africans. They have gutted key government institutions like the tax agency to gain better access to government accounts. They have even taken to eliminating rivals in mafia-like assassinations. I would like to say that I've researched this, and the estimate of money stolen by the ANC government over their period of rule, which is about a 25-year period, equals about $3 trillion. Let that sink in. That's the kind of money that can make or break an entire country like this. And it's despicable. They need to be taken out of power forcefully, Mr. Ramaphosa. Ramaphosa acknowledged the slow pace of progress, saying things like corruption become a way of life, but he underlined his commitment to deal with the issues ahead of the elections. This time we're not just saying it, we're living it, he said, adding, because if we don't do so, we're going to be punished at the polls. That's the end of the story. I would like to also just add one more thing. You're not only going to be punished at the polls, Ramaphosa, because everyone eventually answers for their crimes. You say that you know nothing of this R500,000, but you do, and I know you do, and you know you do, and I have proof of it. It does no good to file it with your government because no action will be taken. But I have seen these documents myself, and it is my greatest hope that you are exposed for the lying, corrupt snake that you are. And I personally will never stop until you are. Good luck. So, for everyone watching, I would like to thank you for subscribing to my channel and for giving me your time and attention. You guys really mean a lot to me, and I do this because I care, you know. It's not right what is being brought down upon all South Africans. And these people need to be held accountable. We can no longer depend on the mainstream media to report at all, much less report fairly on this issue. So we must do it ourselves. And that's what I try to do. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.